The truth is, Adult Swim has had a lot of successful shows over its 20-year run. Officially being announced to Cartoon Network's audience in 2001, Adult Swim has been nothing but a great addition to their network, bringing in a large audience of millions over the years. What if I told you that these shows were created with a sinister motive? That they used these shows to introduce the audience to a satanic agenda? Join me in this episode as we uncover the dark truth about Adult Swim. Adult Swim was created in 2001 by Mike Lazo, who was reattempting to create a block on the network for teens and young adults to watch after the hours of 11 p.m. Cartoon Network would normally air child-friendly content, but they wanted to be able to provide mature content so they can keep viewers through the night in order to help boost ratings. This essentially birthed Adult Swim, which had shows that were completely different to what was normally shown on Cartoon Network. This proved to be a success for the network as it developed a decent-sized adult audience. Adult Swim was now able to run programming through the night and expect an audience to watch it. The content on Adult Swim was mostly dark humor, with most of the shows being animated series that were packed with dirty jokes and tons of violence. Even though they were on a children's network, Adult Swim branded itself as its own thing and made the disturbing content to go along with it. Adult Swim makes content with one specific goal: to condition the audience into accepting satanic morals. At the start of Adult Swim, the shows introduced its teens and young adult audience to extreme violence and vulgar content. But as time progressed, they upped their programming to more open satanic content, as they were conditioning their audience to be able to accept this content. When Adult Swim was first introduced, they had shows like Space Ghost, Coast to Coast, and Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Shows that promoted immoral values and were dark in theme, but not openly satanic like the shows that would come. In 2005, Adult Swim released their show Lucy, the Daughter of the Devil. The show was full of dark, disturbing humor and was the first attempt at normalizing Lucifer. We saw the same theme in their show Ugly Americans, packed with dirty humor, and again we saw the writers trying to normalize demons and evil as a fun and enjoying watching experience. Adult Swim would take their satanic programming a step further when they released two of their most openly satanic shows on TV, Mr. Pickles and Your Pretty Little Faces Going to Hell. Mr. Pickles was about a demon dog that would go on killing sprees and perform many satanic rituals. The show was literally nothing but evil. Just the intro alone was enough to expose you to a bunch of demonic imagery. The show lasted 6 years, and in those 6 years, it successfully spread a satanic agenda to its audience. In one of the episodes, a character on the show named Grandpa discovers the demon dog's satanic lair underneath the dog's doghouse, where masked men were performing sacrifices. This is the content they choose to show on their network. Almost crazy to think that by day, they're supposed to be a child's network. In their show Your Pretty Little Faces Going to Hell, they depict hell as a job for damned souls. They show Lucifer in a comedic light, again trying to normalize him to the masses. I also find their title of the show interesting, as if they're teasing their audience on where they're planning on guiding them to. The network knows how TV can affect the mind. That's why the government would use Hollywood to spread propaganda through films, because they know how films can affect the mind. Almost all of Adult Swim shows are packed with satanic symbols. They even go as far as to openly show satanic rituals. The next thing I would like to talk about is the fact that they air these twisted satanic shows on Cartoon Network. This makes these shows so much easier to be seen by children who should not at all be seeing these shows. I believe not even teens should be able to watch these shows, with such disturbing imagery and a message attached to them. So why would Adult Swim be on the same channel as Cartoon Network? Cartoon Network is owned by Turner Broadcasting System, and Turner Broadcasting System owns many other networks like True TV and TNT. Why wouldn't they instead show their more adult content on one of those networks instead that already show adult content? They do this because they know not only adults will be watching these shows. If you were like me as a child, then you would have been waiting up watching Cartoon Network until the Adult Swim logo popped up in order to catch those so-called adult shows. It always amazed me to know that I could watch shows that adults watch, and I could actually somewhat understand them, at least I thought I did. The characters were just as colorful as the characters in my normal children TV shows, but much more vulgar and violent. To be honest, the violence is what made me like them so much more. I don't know why violent shows as a child to me seem so fun and entertaining to watch, as most of my shows I watched as a child has some kind of mild violence in them, but nothing like you can find on Adult Swim. Of course, a young child shouldn't be watching shows intended for adults, and their parents should monitor what their children are watching. But the thing is, we don't live in a perfect world where everybody is able to monitor their children all day. Some adults may have time to dedicate to their children that others don't. This is exactly what creators and writers of Adult Swim were expecting and hoping for. They know many children were going to find a way to watch these twisted shows. That's the reason they were created to look the way they do. They specifically make them to appeal to children. They're able to say and do anything on these shows without having to be restricted due to it not being rated for children. They are able to introduce kids and teens to a much darker humor. The sooner they can introduce children to these shows, the bigger impact it would have on their minds, brainwashing children with satanic morals at an early age. It's clear to see what agenda Adult Swim puts out with his content. The next thing I would like to talk about is Seth Green, a writer and a director on Adult Swim and many other children's shows on Cartoon Network, as he has been accused of doing some sick things to kids by a friend of his named Isaac Cappy. Isaac, just days after exposing Seth, jumped off a bridge to his death. The cops ruled it a suicide, which to anyone who was following Isaac just a few days before was left wondering, is this what really happened? Isaac was live exposing Seth and many other people in Hollywood just a few days before his supposed suicide. On that live, he spoke about the very thing that happened to him. He basically implied that if he died, it wasn't a suicide because he is not suicidal. Isaac accused many Hollywood elites of doing really evil things, and in his own words, claiming they were part of a satanic occult that performed ritual abuse and sacrifice on young children. He even accused Seth Green of having a secret room hidden behind a bookshelf where he held children. Isaac did imply that he himself did something he could never turn back from, and that he became one of them. In my opinion, it's kinda odd that he would die after exposing so many important Hollywood names. To me, it's clear that he said too much and was silenced like we've seen with many before. It's clear what Adult Swim's purpose is. They were created to spread a satanic agenda to its viewers, to program its viewers into accepting the satanic values needed for the Masonic New World Order. We must not allow networks like this to manipulate us. We must not let them destroy our souls. They want the masses to fall in line with their agenda at any means, no matter the cost. We must not allow them to trick us off our intended path. We must help those who can't see the truth find the truth. Thank you for watching this episode of The Truth Is. If you would like to further support the channel, join me on Patreon. The link would be in the description. If you join before the 28th of this month, you could be entered to this month's monthly raffle where you can win a shirt, a cash prize, and even pick a video topic. Also, please leave a comment below on your thoughts on this video and on any future topics you would like to see me cover on my channel. If you like this video, please hit the like button as this helps other people find these videos. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of future videos. Please follow me on Instagram at TheTruthIs01 and on TikTok at TheTruthIs. I would gladly appreciate it. Thank you. Goodbye.